I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. The Xbox Series X storage is too small and it is too expensive to upgrade. I knew this would happen. Let's talk about it. Welcome back, everybody. We're back with some more news in this next-gen console reality, learning more and more every day, and people are finally starting to recognize the major bottleneck with the Xbox Series S, something I told you all just a few days ago when I was talking about my concerns with the Xbox Series S. It is fool's gold, in my opinion. I think if you're going to buy an Xbox console, you need to buy the Xbox Series X. We got some articles here, especially on the new cost of the expandable hard drives, which you will need to buy in order to expand the hard drive on your Xbox Series X or S. So let's get into it. Okay, so here we are with our first article. I found this on N4G, of course. We already have it heating up. The topic that the Xbox Series X storage is way too small for an all-digital console, and that's absolutely true. I mentioned this in my last video. 512 gigabyte storage is not going to be enough space for next-gen gaming. Many games already have 40 to 60 gigabyte requirements for current gen, and you can expect that to go up with next gen. Games like Warzone are already over 100 gigabytes of information. I don't see how 512 gigabytes is enough at all. That's a huge major problem. And so many of you are like, hey, but Ray, you could just expand that hard drive, right? Just buy an expansion. Yeah, you could, but let's see, what does that cost us? Moving over here to this next article, the Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S 1 terabyte expansion cards cost $220, leaks suggest. So now we know what it costs to expand. You see a little expansion card there? That's going to cost you over $200 to get 1 terabyte expansion. And that's what you would need to get. You need at least around 1 terabyte. It needs to be close to 1 terabyte for this to be even plausible as a next-gen console. You need to be able to have at least 10 games or so on your system before you start to rotate that and delete them. I mean, otherwise it's going to be prohibitively inconvenient. Right? So Microsoft has finally shown its hand in the next generation, revealing a secondary console, the Xbox Series X, accompanying the Xbox Series X. So we have the S and X. The all-digital one is $299, and that sounds like a great deal, right? Yes, however, it's not enough storage space, and so because of that, you need to buy an expansion. And both them pack a very latest generation hardware, including an upgraded solid-state drive storage. This is proprietary technology. I'm sure the PlayStation one's going to be just as expensive, or if not more, because it's even more proprietary. It's even faster than the Microsoft version is. So we have them promising a 2.4 gigabyte per second raw speed and a 4.8 gigabyte per second on compressed speeds, delivering up to 40 times increase over the Xbox One family. These will play a crucial role with direct line to PC via PCIe 4.0, which is nice. And so we learned a little bit more about their hard drive. It's very unique, but because of this, it means that next generation storage can't be expanded through traditional solid state drives. You hear that? Because it's so proprietary and unique, you cannot just use a traditional standard solid state drive. You're going to have to upgrade it to one of these special proprietary attachments, cartridges, right? And so we have a leak here. It'd be around $220, but it's leaked that the 1 terabyte expansion will be $219. So that's already now over the cost of an Xbox Series X. So if you bought an Xbox Series S for $299 and then you bought an expandable terabyte, you're at $520. Why not just buy an X? This is what I'm saying. The Xbox Series X is fool's gold. I've already said this. Now everyone's finally starting to realize it, but the Xbox Series S is not what it needs to be. It needed to be cheaper. It needed to be cheaper than $299. Of course, Microsoft can't really do that without taking a huge loss, but it needs to be. This is not cheap enough when you have to buy expandable storage. I mean, yeah, you can try to get by with 512, but you're going to hate it. It's going to be so frustrating. And so what I've done here is I'm going to be comparing the Xbox Series S versus the PS5 digital. These are the specs. Now, what do we think the PS5 digital is going to be costing? It's probably going to cost around $399 or $400. So for $100 more, what are we getting? What are we getting? Well, here we go. We have all the information. I'm assuming $399. I can't imagine this being $500 for a digital edition. That means that the PlayStation 5 disc edition would be $600 probably, or $550. And why would you bother with $50 off? You would just buy the disc version, right? This has to be around $400, and the disc version is probably going to be anywhere from $500 to $600 for the PlayStation. So I can't imagine why it would be more than $400. There's just no world in which I see this being more than $400. So my guess is $400 for this. And what do we get? We get 4 teraflops GPU power on the Series S, and we get 10.28. So this has the same exact teraflops as the disc edition, right? Same exact teraflops. An 8-core, which these cores are both excellent. So this is a wash here. We have 10 gigabytes of GDDR6 and 16 on the digital edition. So we know the memory now is only 10 gigabytes, which I don't think that's enough. We need to have at least, I would think 16. 16 is going to run really smooth at 16 gigabytes. That's what you need. This is targeting 1440. This is targeting 4K. Wait, so are you seeing what's happening here? For $100 more, for $100 more, you get 4K gaming up to 8K. You get 6 additional gigabytes of RAM. You get over about 2.5 times the GPU performance. Right? Frame rates is a wash. Ray tracing is a wash. They both would have ray tracing. Then here's another big one. 512 versus 825. So that's huge. You're going to have about 300 to 400 more gigabytes of space on your digital edition of PS5. Now, this is doable. That's doable for a digital console. That's still a little low. I would still want it to be a terabyte or more, but that's doable at least. That's at least doable. And this solid state drive is much faster. See that? It's about twice as fast. This PlayStation solid state drive is screaming fast. It's incredible. I can't wait to see what games are like on this. It's going to be absolutely butter smooth. I can't wait for that. And then everything else is just basically a wash. We don't know the size yet of the PS4 digital edition. We don't know. We haven't seen it really. Just pictures. We haven't actually seen the physical. Haven't got our hands physically on the console. So if we're looking at $299 or $399, this is a no-brainer. The PlayStation 5 digital edition is just hands down an enormously better bang for your buck. Enormously better. Way more for your money here. You get much better gaming, much more space, much more RAM, a much better GPU. I just can't see it being anything but an absolute smashing here. The only thing that the Xbox Series S has is that financing option, and that financing option is very, very enticing. It's very, very interesting to go ahead and get that financing option because it comes with Game Pass, and that's the one thing that Xbox has that's so awesome is Game Pass and EA Play. So that is a huge selling point, and I always give Xbox credit for that. I think that they're changing gaming. I hope Sony does something like that. Until Sony does something like that, these are actually very neck and neck right now in this generation. I don't see PlayStation 5 being so much more ahead because Game Pass is so much value. What's $100 when you're getting 160 games on launch day that are all, many of them AAA games, and if anything, they're all high quality games. So what's $100? I mean, that's a drop in the barrel to how many games you're getting, and so that value just trounces really anything PlayStation has on the gaming front as far as gaming value. Now the PlayStation has exclusives, so there's an actual reason to buy the PlayStation 5. But as far as like what you get for your money when it comes to gaming, the Xbox wins there, hands down. So these are the options. These are what we're seeing here. System to system, the Xbox is just falling behind. You have to buy a Series X. If you're going to be buying one of these systems, you have to buy a Series X. You need that terabyte of space, and you get all the added goodies. For $200, you get all the added goodies. You get twice the space, twice the storage space. She's 5 times. Like 3 times the amount of GPU processing power, right? You're going to have almost double the memory. It's going to be 4K to 8K gaming. It's just so much more bang for your buck to buy the Series X, and you get a Blu-ray 4K drive, so you can play all your discs, and you can get discs. You don't even have that option on the Series S. You can't even get a disc. So if you go to a store and you happen to see a great deal on a game, you can't buy it. You can't get it because you can only buy digital. So you would want to have that freedom. I'm telling you, you will want to have that freedom. If you're going to buy one of these systems, get the disc editions. Get the X and get the PlayStation 5 disc editions. You won't regret it. All right, that's all I have for you today. If you agree with me, please let me know below. Join in on the conversation. Let me know. What do you think? Was the video good? Was the video not good? Leave a thumbs up and a like if you enjoyed it. I need all the help I can get. I appreciate everything you guys do to watch my videos and give me your feedback. And as always, please have a great rest of your day and week. Peace.
I love you, me.